welcoming to the program Tracy Frette from First American Bank, as we're talking a little bit about mortgages and some things about mortgages that might surprise you. First and foremost, thank you for being here.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
And the surprising thing that we learned, as you said, since the beginning of the year, people can be pleasantly surprised on mortgage rates.
Yes. Mortgage rates have been coming down since the beginning of this year, and we have seen them right now. A client looking for a 30-year fixed rate mortgage can be looking at somewhere between 3.25% all the way up to 3.75 roughly, depending on what kind of loan program they're looking for. So rates are very, very good. They've come down since the beginning of this year. They were close to 4.
It's interesting because I think, and I think you're going to say this as well, that the rates have been forecast to kind of slowly go up, but that really hasn't happened yet.
Yeah. They had initially projected that rates would be up in the higher 4s this year. This is actually from the last 5 years, and it does show that rates have come down since 2011. They kind of hit a low in 2012. They went back up in 14, but not significantly up. And as you can see, that trend has been kind of downward since in the beginning part of 2014, which is really nice. It keeps mortgages affordable for people. It allows for first-time home buyers to buy, and it's really good.
But you said there was quite a different range here. You mentioned 3.25% and all the way up to getting close to the 4% again. So what do people have to keep in mind for that?
It depends on what kind of loan program you're looking for. The FHA loan programs, the VA loan programs, some of the government loan programs have a little bit lower rates, but they have different terms and conditions. Okay. Your conventional loan programs are a little bit higher in rate, but their mortgage insurance premiums have a little bit more flexibility. So.
And speaking of VA, if you're a veteran out there, there are some options we want to make sure you know about.
Yeah, absolutely. The VA loan program does offer for qualified veterans no down payment, which is fantastic. And then the state of Iowa has a military grant that's available for qualified veterans. It's $5,000 that they would be could be qualified for to use towards their down payment if they'd like, or towards closing cost. And that is not something that has to be repaid. There are certain qualifications. A veteran has to have served 90 days active duty. Initially, they put the program together for veterans serving after 9/11, but they actually opened it up, and they've included veterans serving between August 2nd, 1990 and April 6, 1991. Yeah, which is great. So a lot of clients, maybe 3-4 years ago, that might have not qualified for this program could potentially qualify at this time.
It's still a seller's market.
I was going to say, we keep hearing that. All the experts we bring on, they're like, if you're a seller, this is the perfect season for you. But you're saying there's some opportunities if you're looking to buy, too. So,
absolutely.
Stay positive and know that there's opportunities for you out there.
Yeah, there are. A lot of nice first-time homebuyer programs, 3% down for regular conventionals.
As opposed to the usual, what, 20% that we hear a lot of times?
A lot of people think you have to have 20%.
Right, that's the standard.
But you can 3%, 5%, very, very common.
So there's a lot of different things, a lot of different regulations you have to keep on top of, and I take it that's what your company does.
Yeah. You know, the heightened regulations have changed the process for consumers. I think that's probably the biggest surprise that people find from maybe when they've purchased in the past, how much more they end up having to do.
Takes longer.
It's longer time, more stringent documentation requirements, but we really focus on making sure that all of that stuff is taken care of at the beginning part of the process, so there's not surprises. You can get through your closing smoothly and efficiently, and you know, just preparing people for what to expect is so important. Getting pre-qualified at the onset before you go out and look, that way you can actually know what to expect, know what kind of things you're going to need. It helps a lot.
Because a lot of the great properties, if they're being listed, they're going pretty darn fast right now, especially in the Des Moines metro. If you had one piece of advice for someone who might be watching out there and looking and saying, you know what, I'd really like to buy, but I'm kind of nervous right now, what would you say to them?
You know, find somebody that you can really trust trust, that you feel you're comfortable with, that has your best interest at heart, and sit down and talk with them about your financial situation and what you're comfortable spending, so that you really get a good feel for the price point of home you're going to want. That way, when you look, you can be focused on that, and you can feel comfortable when you put your offer in. And if you need to move quickly, you can move quickly.
Yeah, so you don't overextend.
Yeah.
One of the key things here. So people want to get a hold of you and say, this is a great idea, let's sit down and talk.
Sure.
How can they sit down and talk with you?
Yeah, sure. My phone number is 515-224-8762.
Look at your big business.
That rolls to my cell phone if I'm not in the office, so you're going to be able to get a hold of me. And my email address, tracy.frette@1934.com. I'd be happy to help in any way that I could.
That is great. Well, thank you so much for being here.
Appreciate it very much.